Pinotage being a nice, big, fleshy grape with a very thick skin, giving off all color, flavor, and time from the start. So, the story behind Pinotage, as I mentioned earlier, like we cultivate, grow, produce 99% roughly of the world's Pinotage. Other 1% they tried it in USA, they tried it in Australia, even UK for that matter. But it's like accustomed to our climate. Like it probably does the best in Australia as well because it's very similar climate-wise. But in 1925, almost 100 years ago now, that is when Pinotage was discovered, essentially, in Africa. There was a professor with the name of Adolf Perel, and who was at the University of Stellenbosch at that time. So his predecessor, the guy before him, cross-pollinated two grapes. Like he forced them to grow together. And those grapes were Pinot Noir, which we had earlier, and the grape that was then known as Hermitage. But Hermitage, there was actually a bit of confusion. Hermitage is what we know today as Cinsault.
Okay.
Back in the day was named after the region in France where Cinsault was grown, which was Hermitage. So he took Pinot Noir and Hermitage, and that eventually became that's where the name comes from. This professor, Mark, the guy before him, cross-pollinated these two grapes, grafted them onto rootstocks, and eventually said to himself like, what am I doing? This is never going to work. So he planted it in his backyard, and that was it. He forgot about it. He went on with his life. Then 1925 came along with Professor Perel. They were busy like digging out in like looking in the backyard just to see what he was up to before he left. And lo and behold, they actually saw that the rootstocks started sprouting. Like it actually formed a bit of grapes. So most of the Pinotage in South Africa today came from those four rootstocks. So they cut off, grafted, cut off. Like when you talk about grafting, you're taking basically like a cultivar, like a grape, and grafting it onto a rootstock. So most of the Pinotage in Africa today stem from those four rootstocks that Professor
Wow.
So only in like the 1980s, Pinotage actually started gaining traction. Because they planted it and they were like, what must we do with this now? It's a brand new grape. Obviously it's grown in our climate, so it's accustomed to our climate, but what must we do with it? What oak must we use? What liquors must we use? So that took about 60 years to actually come to life. And then in the 80s and 90s there was like this Pinotage boom. And then things went quiet for a bit, and around late 2000s Pinotage started picking up. And here we are today. It's actually it's our own grape. It's loved by many South Africans because it's something that's it's close to us. It's close to home.
Is it
Literally
the
close to
most
home.
exported wine that we have?
Oof. That actually I don't think Pinotage is the most exported wine that we have, although we do export a lot of other wines from other countries that we grow essentially. But in terms of like, it's up there, but I don't think it's the most. I'm actually sure it's the most exported wine that we have. But yeah, in this Pinotage of ours, we use French oak barrels as well as American oak. So you can expect a bit more of a fruitier, smokier, sweeter aroma coming through there. So if you smell this one now, you will pick up hints of sweet, almost like a pruny, raisiny kind of. I think a lot of people will say cassis. So raisin, cassis, same thing. Honestly, it's the same thing. It's a very like sweet smell to it, and even on the palate, as you can see by the color, it's very heavy. So it like clings onto the palate. So when it comes to wine, we talk about finish. You get a short finish, long finish, medium finish. Actually, either short or long. What I love about this Pinotage, it clings to your palate. It has a very long finish. Because some of the wines take a sip immediately when it's down, it's gone. That's a short finish. Whereas this one lingers a bit. Very short history about the Pinotage, but here we are today. What makes ours also special is the fact that this is what we call our estate wine. So 100%, all the grapes are here from the farm. Whereas with most of the other wines, we maybe get like 3% of the production or 5% of the grapes from other places. This is 100% from the farm. This is the Eastern wine.
And which is the best selling one of the blend?
Oh, that is also a tough question. It actually varies from month to month.
Okay.
This month the Sauvignon Blanc can sell really well. Next month the Rosé can sell really well. All of a sudden the Chardonnay sells really well. But
like something to
it is depending on season. We sell a lot more white wines during the warmer months and a lot more red wines during the colder months. But probably our best-selling red wine is the Merlot, which we have, like neck and neck. But in terms of white wines, it's between the Rosé and the Sauvignon Blanc.
What is Japan known for?
We are actually quite well known for our Coupe Sauvignon Blanc that we have, very synonymous with that. And for the next one coming up, the Roubaix, is the Bordeaux blend that we have. Usually when people hear the French, they associate us with
Okay. This makes me think of ribbons.
ribbon. Then imperial ribbon.
Red ribbons.
Interesting. If you want to ask why, what makes you think of that? I'm intrigued.
It's the smell and the taste that tasted a ribbon. But it's what my brain is telling me.
Well, I usually what I usually do is back in the day when I started, I tried to picture the smell and taste of wines like a childhood memory.
Yeah.
I found it actually worked quite often because this one it has a very like spicy, fruity aroma, so it always took me back almost like a fruit cake, you know?
Yes,
Like
Christmas cake.
time,
Christmas cake, yes.
It's another family
You know
song.
that material ribbon, the one that you put on gifts?
Yeah.
That's
So when you open up a fresh
not,
packet.
not satin, the one that you can roll and twirl.
Yeah, so when you unpack it, it has that smell to it. Interesting. I've been here for 4 years and Enjoy.